Hello everyone, in this video we're going to have a look at some of the attributes of an input element. So let's get into it. Firstly, let's just create a label. Actually no, let's create a form because they're usually used with forms, if not always used in the form. Okay, so we've created a form. Now I'm going to create a label, which is quite interesting because it's a label. So I'm going to put in username. Actually not labels, I'm going to just put in enter, or maybe not enter, I'm just going to say something. So that's the label. Then I'm going to make an input, of course. Sorry, I've always forget this. Input, and like that. Now by default it's that, a text box. So the first value that we're going to have a look at is this. Actually no, let me just do something else. Let me create two of these. Input, and I'm going to create a submit. Okay, so this is going to be a submit button. Type is equal to submit, so we have a submit button, submit query. Okay, so look, made a mistake. Okay, so look here, the thing is that submit, when I just enter something, or if say I don't enter something inside of here, alright, and I submit it, assume this was the username, what this is gonna do is it's still gonna submit. As you can see, there's a question mark, meaning it's submitted. If I go back, there's no question mark. If I submit, then there's a question mark. You can see it's a query because you're submitting a query. Now assume we want the user to always write something inside of this. How are we gonna do it? Well, we're going to do this. We're going to say input, and we're going to make this type of input required. So now it's required. We cannot live without it. Okay, so if I were to submit this, it's going to give me this message saying please fill this out first. Come on. See, you can see there's no question mark, so I can submit how many times I want, but it's not gonna give me a question mark unless, if and only if I do this, enter some text and then I do it, then it's gonna submit. So that's how it is. That's the first one, required attribute. Then you have the nice little attribute, my favorite, placeholder. Placeholder just allows you, it gives you some guidance, like enter something. So what placeholder does is, look, I've no default text inside of this, then I have some text, default text. I'm not going to say default text, it's not really a default text. What it is, it's helpful text, it's a placeholder text. Default text is something else. Then we have the autofocus. Okay, what autofocus does, actually no, let's just go somewhere else. Leave autofocus, go to value first. Value is a bit easier. So if I say value, and I'm going to say the value is, say something, so I'm going to say hello. So if I refresh, you obviously see nothing, but what value does is that it assigns a default value, right? So if I were to submit this query, then you can see that that hello automatically comes inside of it. So that's what value does. It gives it a default value already. So if you don't enter something inside of it, actually no, let's just give it a shot. I enter something, but I submit it, it's going to change it to hello. So that's what it is. It controls the input. No matter what you write, the value is going to be hello. Okay, the value is going to be the value you specify inside of the code here using this value attribute. So that's what value does. And if I were using a number, for example, number, or actually not a number, let's use something else. Say for example I'm using a checkbox. Go with checkbox. Let's see if we can try it with a checkbox. I'm going to give a value of 1. So if I do that, I'm going to say submit. Okay, that doesn't work with a checkbox. Let's try 0. Maybe that works. Submit. No, it doesn't work. True, false. Maybe let's try true, false. True, false. Submit. Okay, I'm going to have to like look on the internet for what this is, but if I try it with numbers, then I say default is 55. So you can see the default is 55. You can say, if I say maybe some funny number like that, then that funny number is of course the default value. So that's what value does. Then what we have is autofocus. Now if I have multiple elements, input elements inside of here, okay, so 1 2 some 5 4 6 7 input elements. The thing is, if I refresh, actually I forgot to save, sorry. Okay, I refresh, it looks a bit funny. Actually, I mean, obviously it's going to look a bit funny. I need something like this here. Okay, so we need something like this, like that, so it looks a bit more good. Oh man, this is something weird. Forgot, I just added all of them in the wrong direction. Say something, label. Just give it like that, say something. Let's check if that works. Or maybe it was correct all along. I think it was, yes. Let's just have a look. Say something, okay. But why is this at the back? Input, okay. Say something, fine. Oh, okay. I think I forgot to put the BR inside of here. The line breaks. There we go. Okay, just let me put the line breaks inside of here. Okay, so they broke up onto different lines, which is something we are looking for. But the point is, when you refresh and you want to type something without selecting any of the text boxes, then none of them are selected. So you need something, if you need something that auto selects any of the text boxes, then you use this attribute called autofocus. So I'm gonna put it inside of maybe this attribute right over here, autofocus. So if I refresh, you can see on hitting refresh, automatically our cursor goes to this one, and we don't need to select it. We can just go ahead, straight type something in there. And if I put it on the last one, then of course it goes there. And also note that you cannot have two autofocuses. It's going to choose the first one. So we delete that, and that's how it is. Then we have the read-only attribute. The read-only attribute, I'm going to use it right over here. I'm going to make this read-only. It's used with the value attribute as well. Okay, so the value I'm going to put in, say, hello, can't erase me. Alright, and then I'm going to put inside of here read only. Now when I come here and I refresh this, then I select this hello can't erase me. If I select it, I can select all the others and I can type and I can erase and I can change the value, but I cannot change this one. Okay, it's read only. I can select it, I can copy the text, look like this, I can copy it there, but I cannot erase it. So that's what read only does. Okay, really cool. Then we have disabled. Okay, and the read only one, I'm going to disable it because of course it's making us frustrated because it's saying hello, you cannot erase me. So disabled. Disabled. Okay, so you can see now it's grayed out, and of course you can still copy it, but it's disabled now. The difference between read only and disabled is that you can use disabled when you want to disable a button. Okay, you know, sometimes if you click a button then the other one gets disabled, if you want to do things like that. So that's when you would use disabled. Now the next one is the size. Okay, the size. So what size does is this. Size is going to give you the width. Okay, so in an input, look, they're all the same size, right? So I'm going to make one a size of 5 characters. So if I do that, you can see it's now 1 2 3 4 actually no, put a caps lock, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, it's 6, but nonetheless. It's maybe some other unit, maybe not characters, but it's a bit shorter. That's what the point is. I mean, that's what size does. It makes things a bit shorter, or yeah, this input a bit shorter. Then we have the max length. The max length specifies the maximum number of text you can enter inside of it. So max length we can use. Max length is equal to, I'm gonna say 2. So I can only enter now 2 characters inside of this. So I'm writing. You can probably hear the keyboard, but it doesn't go forward. So that's max length. And yes, that's it. Thanks for watching.